On this week's episode of A Beer and a Bet, Beery takes on the Fashion Police. We talk all things the Gong. Two tickets still up for grabs. The Final Furlong machine has been confirmed. And we head to Rosehill on Saturday for the Four Pillars with three live chances. That and much, much more on this week's episode of A Beer and a Bet. Hello and welcome to another edition, episode, whatever you want to call it, of A Beer and a Bet. And you wouldn't believe it, Beery thinks it's boring, so he spiced things up a little bit and he doesn't have a shirt on today. Unbelievable stuff.
I tell you what, if you're listening to this in your car, you're missing out because not only is it a beer and a bet, it's a beer and a boob and a beast. Because we're coming in strong, we're coming in the back of a double, and this week it's only going to get better and better, isn't it, Gano? So I thought let's spice this week up nice and early.
Yeah.
Get fired up. Sun's out, guns out.
Mate, what are you wearing there? Obviously,
I'm wearing the sashes
not
from our
quite
double
Gucci, is it?
on Saturday.
From the double?
You know, I sent this photo on Sunday morning on Snapchat to a few people. Got a wicked response, absolutely wicked response. So I thought, you know what? Why not back it up? I've got the silk sashes,
Yeah.
and it's on. I tell you what, no one is going to want these posted to them next week after this episode. It's not cool in this house either. No, actually, what? To be fair, I'm gonna put a t-shirt on because it's not fair.
No words. And to be fair, if you want one of those sashes, if you're the owner of This Is the Moment or Artful Persuasion, the value of those have just decreased significantly. But we might get Beery to wash them and send them over.
There's no amount of cleaning product that can undo that, mate. Once they've touched this body,
Now
they need to be.
let's reflect on what a weekend that was. You were pretty flat, hadn't been the best week, and generally we do bounce back when it's been flat and bounce back in a big way. This Is the Moment was very, very impressive. Blake got riding at about the 1500, and he was too strong.
Well, let's start. And if you've got children listening, now's time to turn the volume down or block their ears. But fuck me, that Los Padres, $34. I went out on a limb. I just was tipping him to the world. Went on Twitter, tried to be a hero. Oh, what could have been? And
Oh,
I darted out of Ramwick, and I'm driving down Mount Ousley. I've got the phone in the cradle. This Is the Moment comes off the bid at the 800-meter mark. And my whole life flashed before me, and I just thought, this is going to be one of those days. We are in for an absolute stinker.
yeah,
And then our little man Spriggsy got busy. Busy being an understatement.
yeah.
He was working two jobs, and got it home. And I'm like, okay, well the wheel's going to turn, and it wasn't a bad day at all.
It was a great day. Artful Persuasion. He cemented himself as one of the rising stars of the stable, going back to back. It was a nice win, and he did it in pretty fine style. And he got out at the 200-meter mark and put nearly 2 lengths on them.
Yeah, he was great. And again, consistency is really playing with Blake. Like he's knowing these horses. No, not he knew not to go too early on that horse. And the great thing is, he's run here at home. He hasn't had a hard run. He's been bottled up for 80% of the race. He's just dashed home his last 200, pulled up super. Hasn't left a note. And here we are. You know, we've got him and two others lining up in a $500,000 race, and they're all genuine chances on Saturday.
We'll get to that later on. The $500,000 Four Pillars Long Live PVL just delivers again. And that'll be a very, very good afternoon on
We have to
Saturday.
Sir Peter. We have
Sir
to
Peter.
Sir Peter. He will be Sir Peter if we win a $500,000 58. I'm just about going to get a PVL tattoo around my. Oh, no, actually, I'm not saying stuff on this podcast
Yeah.
because I've already been done $2,000 for training a double last week with this Final Furlong machine.
Speaking of
And
which,
I didn't mention anything. And after Artful Persuasion, I'm just getting these random tweets and texts of the Final Furlong machine. I thought, oh, there's no letting this blow over.
well, that was me, so I'll take full responsibility for that. But if you want to get
You and your burner phone.
you know what? Yeah, got nothing else to do. You know what? I reckon if we run the trifecta in the Four Pillars, you got to get a PVL tat.
I will.
Yeah.
I'll get MB for PVL in a little love heart if we run the trifecta. So
The final furlong coming. I tell you what, the talk of the town, the final furlong will be there. I want to know, let us know in the comments your favorite match race. I've thrown a few out. Thought Salts and Footies naturally that just comes naturally.
Yeah, that'll be great. The two
Salts is
units, boys.
yeah, Salts has come out and said that he'll just sit off the heels of Footy and go bang, and Footy's responded with a mate, you wouldn't know what a pacemaker was. So that'll
Oh,
be
it's starting to
interesting.
get.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I think that'd be good. Steph Grantell, I reckon, might be a bit of a smoky on the old Final Furlong.
who's going to take on Steph?
Not me. I'm not taking on anyone.
Well, Spriggsy's going to take you on. He's a bit worried that you've got the weight advantage on him. So
Yeah, Sprigsy, but mate, Sprigsy will just be back cuddling, and I'll be off and gone. I'll be like a little.
you
I'll
might run
be
out of
run out of
carrots.
my grade. I'll be
You might
run.
run out of carrots.
I will be no. I tell you what, we won't be running out of carrots, Gong Day. It's gonna be on. Speaking of, we'll put together a little list, Gatto,
Yes.
of horses that are probably going to be heading towards Gongdale. Obviously, a lot can change. I mean, this time last week we had one horse going to 4 pillars, and now we've got three. So we'll try and let everyone know what horse is going to be getting there. But as they sort of as they sort of race in between, things can change. But it'd be a great day all round.
Yep. Fumico, Los Padres, King Frankel, Alicia Roma, Artful Persuasion, You're Not the Boss, all possibles horses that we're going to try and send in that direction. Might be a few more as well,
And
but
Apollo Mission
yeah,
or Polo Mission or This Is the Moment or Artful, they win the 4 pillars
yeah,
straight into the Gong over a mile.
straight to the gong.
Let this train keep on chuffing.
The good times just keep rolling. I've never heard that before.
Don't start putting a ceiling on this, Gano. You know,
The
anything can
train,
happen.
the train keeps on chuffing. Hey,
I've actually, before we get into anything too
yeah,
serious, I've got
yeah.
something very serious to touch on for local residents.
All right. Well, do you know what? First and foremost, before you do that, I think it's a disgrace that Wollongong Hawks aren't playing the night before the gong. Just thought I'd throw that out there. I
No,
went
it's too much for one town.
unbelievable. Anyway, go on.
Um, and we're also, it's the Illawarra Hawks, mate. It's the whole community, not just the Wollongong Hawks.
My apologies. Couldn't care.
Hashtag we rise together. Um, One of the greatest things that's ever happened to me since I moved to Canberra has happened this week. Someone tipped me off, like Crime Stoppers, that there was this panini place in Lake Heights. Now, Lake Heights doesn't have a lot going for it. There's not much there, right?
Yeah.
It's just a view of the lake and housing. So that's all the information I had. I couldn't find on the internet. So I just started driving the streets of Lake Heights. And I saw some crowded people out the front of this derelict bottle shop, which sparked my interest immediately, regardless of the paninis.
Yeah.
So I went in, but sure enough, they're all holding into the paninis out the front. I went into this derelict bottle shop, and out the back, there's this deli, and they were 20 deep with
So
paninis.
good.
But it was like the Seinfeld episode, like everyone knew how to order, and they were all queued up. And I started to get nervous because I started to get to the front of the queue, and I didn't know what I want. So I panicked and I went to the fridge and she yelled at me and she's like, "You get your drinks at the end, like the soup Nazi." I was like, sorry. So I shuffled up to the front, ordered my panini, and I was so nervous. And then they yelled out my name. I quickly got scurried over. I just went just before I took the boys up there, third time this week.
So good. Give a
Got
shout
minis
out. What are
there.
they called? Lake Heights.
The Panini Hub, and they've got the not Panini Hub logo, if you know what I mean.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There'll be a lot of people on that listen to this podcast that know what I'm talking about, and the ones that don't, I have a lot of respect for you. But yeah, the other hub of the non-panini variety is their logo.
The others who don't are lying. Gong Day tickets, Steph at mitchbracing.com.au. There's still
I
a
think
few
we're,
tickets
we're
left.
we're nearly maxed out. We are
Yeah.
nearly maxed out. So probably because you and Steph have given fucking 87 away. But
None. Actually, none.
no, people can't tip winners.
But
No,
we're going to give two away, and we're going to draw that on the 14th of November. So keep commenting. Everyone that's commented, you all go in the draw. If you want to buy your tickets now and you do win one of those two tickets, then we will just refund you the money.
oh, that sounds great.
Mutual
Want to
person.
launch into the runners.
Oh, there he is. Keegs. Hello,
Here
mate.
you go.
What's going on?
Best
Kigo,
looking
so young
rapper in the world.
Kigo there. He's a trooper. He copped a booting to the guts on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Like a
absolutely
soldier.
steaming.
went over, watched This Is the Moment win, then started spewing up blood. Off to the hospital he went. I said, geez, imagine if they got beat, Kigo. You would have been really crook. 3 days in the hospital and he's back on deck. He had a bleeding on the kidney. That what a machine. They don't make him like him anymore.
Gutsy as Keego. How was the panini?
Insane. Insane. I actually never seen one that big from Lotto.
On Sunday morning, I texted him. He said, mate, I'm still real crook. I'm in the hospital. I said, mate, don't worry, I'll fix it. I went to 7-Eleven. I got him 2 cans of Max and a Turkish Delight. And I went in there. I said, if this doesn't fix you, mate, you're gone. It's all over for you.
Oh, there he is, James Keegan.
Thank God the Irish don't know what work cover is. So they just, I said, yeah, work cover, Medicare, same.
Yeah, you'll be right.
Tell him it was your own horse.
Yeah, Pepsi Max and Turkish Delight. That's questionable, but anyway, we'll move on.
Right, okay, you've had your 5 minutes of fame.
Look, give his Instagram handle out for all the fans, especially looking Irish bloke down there in wouldn't say Wollongong, but Illawarra.
Yeah, exactly. You're being disrespectful.
Unbelievable. Hey, why don't we have a little talk about the four pillars? There's a lot we can talk about for the rest of this show, but the four pillars, it's a race that you've had Apollo Mission targeted at for quite some time, and it just so happens that we were able to sneak another two runners into the race. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a great day. How do you feel about the day and the let's just go runner by runner, but just tell me about how you feel about the day and what it means to you.
Mate, it's just awesome. This is our first year that we're here and eligible for four pillars. And, for a benchmark 68 to be worth $500,000 is just unreal. Absolutely unreal. So, it looked perfect for Apollo Mission. His rating got up with 2 wins straight early in the prep. So it was a race that we could easily target for him. And the other two have just kept improving, and after they raced here and pulled up so well, spoke to the handicappers on Monday morning, and their ratings were going to be high enough. So that was one thing. But the most important thing is that those horses pulled up well and ate well and trotted up well and looked for a reason not to run them all week. And then they go and draw 2 and 3. We get Spriggsy and Kieran McAvoy on those two. So, yeah, it's just terrific. We've got so many excited owners. And I think the most thrilling part for us is whatever the outcome is on Saturday. But I was just talking about this with the boys this morning that were here. Like, this time last year, we had 12 horses here. And to be honest, I questioned whether those 12 would still be here in 12 months, whether they were going to be good enough. And Apollo Mission was a maiden. They'd been beaten 3 times at Narandra. This Is a Moment got beat at Wagga and Albury. Artful Persuasion hadn't had a start in the race. He won a maiden at the Sapphire Coast after we got up here. So in less than 12 months, those horses have won, I don't know how many races. They've nearly won 10 races between them. And now they're all, $12 chances in a $500,000 race. So I think it's a credit to their owners that have stuck solid and let us bring the horses up here and have a go with them, and they've improved. And the whole team, they've gone from being genuine maideners at Albury to 70 raters in provincial city, 70 raters with the world at their feet. So I'm just very thankful to those connections that let me have the chance to bring them up here.
We've got the race by the scruff of the neck. Let's be honest. Artful Persuasion's low flying. He's drawn barrier 3. This is the moment barrier 2, Kieran, and got probably the best closer in the race in Apollo Mission, drawn wide. But yeah, I wouldn't be overly concerned. And we discussed this. Barrier 18 is probably better than 1, 2, 3, or 4 for Apollo Mission. Let's touch on his chances first up.
Yeah, I think he's probably, he's gone out in the market because of the gate. I don't think so at all. I would be more concerned if he drew 1 to 6 as opposed to out wide. The further he gets back and the quicker they go, it will improve his chances. He's got a wicked turn of foot. He got to him really quickly, almost too quickly the other day in town, and he was still a bit big after a freshen up. He's been set for it. He's ready to peak. They're all going to need luck, but if he gets the right run, the gate, his turn of foot should overcome the gate, especially in a race where they'll run it a lot more like a 1200 than a 1500.
Hopefully he's laid off the paninis this week and his strip's a little bit fitter. His peak, he brings the best recent rating into this race. So obviously he does need that luck, but will be very, very hard to beat if the breaks do come. Let's touch on this as the moment, a horse that I believe was this the horse that was your first Kembla winner.
Yeah, Cox Plate Day last year, so 12 months ago. 12 months ago, I stood in the back ring and we were having a terrible runner. We moved up here, and I think we were like nearly 50 and out with runners. Like it was just the most horrendous time. I couldn't have thought of a worse time to move to a provincials. I couldn't win a maiden at Leeton. Um, and we had a horse called Sesame Timbers, who I just thought was unbeatable. We sat four deep at Albury and got beat.
Oh,
And I couldn't even. This is a moment I was about to walk into the mounting yard. I'm like, I would just pay so much money not to have to go through this. Like, I just want to go home. And sure enough, he lobbed, and the wheel just really turned after him. That was an awesome moment. So, and here he is, 12 months later. He's now won four at Kembla. So he's done a good job. Could be Kembla Horse of the Year. I think this is the moment.
could be Kembla Horse of the Year. He's flying. We actually have to announce Horse of the Month soon. We may as well do it now.
Well, mate,
Big Artful
you've done the
Persuasion.
ratings. You've done the ratings, and
Big
yeah,
Artful
I think
Persuasion.
it has to be Artful Persuasion. He's a horse that is a Saturday. He's a Saturday horse. He's not there yet. He might be this Saturday, but yeah, he. I would say he's got more upside than the other two. I would say, but he's still very raw. He's only had the 7 starts. The others are a bit more experienced, but I would say on ability, he will go past the other two in the next 6 to 12 months, and just keep looking after him. But he's going to get a lovely run from the gate. I don't think there'll be a jockey more hell-bent on trying to win that race than Blake Spriggs. So yeah, he. I think he's got more of the X factor about him than the other two.
Love it. And of course, Horse of the Month. He will be the Horse of the Month for October, of course. And a big thank you to FanFave, FANFAVE, fanfave.com.au. If you
Get
want to
your
get your
merch.
merch with your
Get
favorite
your
horse,
merch out.
that's where you go. And of course, the Horse of the Year for the Mitch Beer Racing, well, the owners of that group will win a jacket, a FanFave jacket, with your horse's name on it,
Engraved.
which will be great.
A bit of merch that hasn't been rubbed up on my body, so that's a win as well.
That's a good point you make. Fanfave.com.au to get all that. But big thank you to them. And that horse, Artful Persuasion, joins, as I've mentioned, horses, Apollo Mission, and this is the moment. So they'll go there. And gee, it could be fair to say whoever comes out on top could be your number one seed at this stage of the Horse of the
Going to
Year.
be hard to beat.
Going to be hard to beat. Other runners we do have Order to Charge, drawn barrier 7, heading up there. It was an 1850, now on 1900 meters with a rail at 11.
Even better.
Even better. Mitch Stapleford to ride, claiming 3 kilos in with 56 kilos for the mailbag team.
Go forward, if he finds a fence after they go 100 meters,
Yeah.
he'll be very, very hard to beat. He's just a tricky horse. He's a different horse when he's got the rail. But Mitch has won on him at Newcastle, takes 3 kilos each, gets in lovely at the weights. And he is going as good as he possibly can. I think I text you on Tuesday morning. That's the best the horse has ever worked. So, yeah, he will go. He'll put in a career peak on Saturday.
Beautiful. A career peak has him right there in the race, and that'll have him very, very competitive. Just needs things to go his way, as you said. The speed map, well, not too difficult to overcome, given he's pretty strong early, but we'll see what happens there. In race number 8, Big Baz Brazil, he produced a really good figure in winning over 1,500 meters. Will we see him go around in this race, mate?
Yes.
Beautiful. That was a very, I would say, somewhat coy. We're going to dig deeper. We're going to double click on that. How well is he going?
Extraordinary. I'll lay it out now so you can't jump on the bandwagon, but I'll just be having my 100 straight out on him this week.
Well, I've got him marked $1.80. No prices up at the moment. Did some.
What about that Hawks thing? I was worried about the Hawks thing. It ran not far behind Artful Persuasion first up.
I've got it in.
But I don't care.
I've got the Hawks thing, Invincible Emma, being its name. by
Yeah.
done deal. I have it improving 1 length, and that will have it ooh, at least a length off Brazil.
I agree. I think he's improved. I think getting to a mile again, he'll improve. Small field. I love the fact that that horse is drawn wide because he can go back and he can be ridden quiet. But if they go too slow or he's just not going to be cluttered up, he was a great run the other day. And I think sometimes when you have a horse that gets back, you worry that especially over ground that they're going to go too slow. But he has a ripping turn of foot, and I think in fact, a small field where they do go slow and he's back and he's ready to use that quick turn of foot, it works really well. But I'll be happy to see him be able to get off heels if it's an option and he's not 2 pairs back the fence. And if they walk, it can turn into an absolute disaster. That horse is low level flying. He's improved. He's improved more than any horse in the last 6 months that we've had come from being a 5-star maidener. And he will progress through to being a really nice 2,000 meter horse. Probably not this prep, probably next prep, but the potential's there. And he's been down the beach for a week after his race, and he's absolutely thriving. And he's our best for the weekend.
Tell me a bit more about Brazil. We talked about it on the last podcast, but our editor managed to leave it on the floor. This is a really good win for a horse that probably means a lot to Mossy and his group there at Tricolours.
Yeah, he was a horse that is the first foal out of Pecans, a mare that Tricolours purchased as a tried horse for I think like 40 grand. She won like 2 or 3 stakes races. He made nearly 600,000 as a yearling. Had a couple of starts for Gay, had a couple of starts for Joe Pride, sold online. I think they paid 20, 25 grand for him. We got him, and to say he was a handful would be an understatement. And the kids have done an incredible job with him. Absolute for a horse that wouldn't go on the track to now, being a horse that you can ride bareback down the beach through the trees, and he's like a pony. So the whole team, especially young girl named Mia, she's done a great job with him, and she'll strap him on Saturday. Yeah, it's just great, and to see that progression through from Tricolours as well. That they've brought him as a tried horse, and I think he'll go on. I don't know if he'll win 3 stakes races, but we'll go close.
We'll do our best. Speaking of horses available, I get a few messages here from now and people now and then inquiring about horses that we have available. There is one at the moment, to stay up. Name is Outspeed by Tavistock, a side that's been flying lately, Beery.
Yeah, one that you guys found and I quite liked. All the hard work's been done. The hard thing with these Tavistocks is you've got to give him so much time, and the time's been given. He's matured, showed really good signs and really good glimpses, and it's just like he hasn't been able to put it all together yet. And I think getting him up here will be perfect. He's going to go through that Caroline Price order to charge method. She'll pre-train him up, and he'll come up here, and he looks like a rinse and repeat job of order to charge for sure. So maybe even with a little bit more potential because he's got that real ability to get out to 2,000 meters and beyond. And, he's going to be winning his maiden and his class 1 pretty quickly.
Yeah, I reckon he's slightly better than Order to Charge, and as you said, also has that upside. So if you're interested, steph at mitchbyracing.com.au, just reach out. Righto. Tell you what, a little bit to touch on, but why don't we do a staking plan now? Then we'll wrap up with a few other things. Hit us up with you want $100 or you want $200?
Now, I want 100 on Brazil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think order to charge can run really well. I wouldn't mind order to charge the place into Brazil the win, into Artful the place for 100.
For 100. Beautiful. All right. I like that a lot. I'm going to take you to Rosehill. You know my opinions of Artful Persuasion. I think you'll go very close. I think Lazat wins a Golden Eagle. It's French horse. Way better.
Oh, I agree with you. I am so in your court.
Yeah. 650, please. Should be about $3. Rolls forward, hard to beat. So we'll have 50 on Lazat. And in race 9, there's a horse that comes out of the E-Ball, Relentless Voyager. The two horses that finished just in front of it won the Geelong Cup, the other one won the Bendigo Cup. This is a lesser race than those two races. And this horse was like, honestly, wasn't Oisin Murphy's best ride. Probably should have finished 4 lengths in front of them. And you're getting $6 in a Rosehill Gold Cup against some horses here
Who's
that
got it?
wouldn't feature. Kieran trains it now. I'm not sure who had it prior, but race 9, number 4, Relentless Voyager. $6 you're getting. Another horse that should be closer to $3
Unreal.
as you're putting a bet on it now.
Yeah, I'm just checking because people respect you a lot,
Yeah,
and I want to get on before they get on.
I appreciate it.
I'm putting the hard work into this podcast.
Yeah. Hey, there's also one horse in the Derby I think's a blowout chance in what's a big Derby field. A horse called Scary around $41. Just something small. If they go really hard and they pour on the pressure, I think it'll be tougher slate. $41.
And apologies to the connections of Scary because tip $40 horse on this podcast. You can just see it. Poor Los Padres, mate. We had to wait around an hour and a half till he got out so we could go home.
Yeah, it'll be SP $19. So apologies in advance, but I think Scary is a blowout chance. Hey, big shout out to Bruce taking 5%, a new owner, 5% in a deep field filly after Steph twisted his rubber arm. So that's great. Welcome, Bruce. And I don't know if you can pronounce this, Beery, but Maso Parovich, I'm going to go with a local syndicate that's been getting involved in a few horses as well down the Illawarra region.
That's right. I'm also going to declare one for Friday afternoon.
Hang on a minute.
I know.
Where at?
Nangar Larry
Larry.
The Goldwyn Cup.
Yep.
He's currently around that 280.
Yep.
And if you want to build yourself a little bank for the weekend, don't be embarrassed to launch at a greyhound. It's perfectly normal, and we all do it. This might just be a little earlier than we normally do it on the weekend, but just get Derby weekend rolling with Nangar Larry. He's running about 5:15. I'm driving down there. I'm going to hold up the Goulburn Cup trophy. I don't know if it's like a bag of pal or something, but I'll be there.
Oh, good. Shirt on?
Yeah. Oh, actually, Goulburn be all right. Get around without a shirt.
Little wife beater sort of operation down at Goulburn.
I'll tell you what, I'm not getting any skinnier. I've really got to, even with those sashes, mate. They say the camera adds 10 pounds, not to each breast. I've got to start trimming up. There'll be no shirts off this summer. I left my run a bit late for this summer, but
next summer
we'll get there. Yeah.
We might reach out to the Manshake, see if they can hook us up. Maybe they're a potential sponsor. And
no. I've seen what sort of shows they sponsor. We don't want anything to do with them.
Oh, good. I'll let them know. Cream Risers, Los Padres in the nominations on Melbourne Cup Day.
Yeah, we'll have a fair hand here on Cup Day.
Yep.
We'll have a fair hand here, and she won't be going around. But if anyone missed the trial of Lightly Sparkled on Monday at Hawkesbury, do yourself a favour, go and watch that. She'll be bobbing up in a little 1,000-metre maiden in 2 weeks, and people always want to know about the horses that are going well at home. Well, there's not too many going better than her.
Love it. Lightly Sparkled. Righto, that's a beer and a bet episode. Geez, I think we're in the 50s now. It's been a pleasure.
Get your shirts off.
Get your shirts off. Gong Day coming up. Get your Gong Day tickets for Pillars. If we can train the trifecta, Beer is getting a PVL tat. I look forward to it. Until next time.
Goodbye.